asked how I make my candied yam. Now the first thing that I buy is a 29-ounce can of yams, which are cut sweet potatoes in syrup. Next thing is marshmallows. I like to use the big marshmallows because if I use the small ones, I find that they burn a lot easier. So the bigger ones for me works out a lot better. Next thing I like to add is ground cinnamon, some butter, and brown sugar. Now I use light brown sugar. I don't think there's a big difference between light and dark, just I guess to your preference. But I always have light brown sugar on hand, so that's just what I'm going to use. And then here I have a 9x9 baking pan. The first thing that I'm going to do is take my can of yams, and I've already drained them. And I'm going to go ahead and just plop them into my 9x9 pan. I take a fork and I mash them. You can also use a potato masher if you want. That's completely up to you. I don't own one. I just using a fork works just fine for me. Mash step. What you're gonna do is take some butter, which is about a 1/4 cup of butter. I never really measure it. I just kind of put a couple little, dollars. With your butter is you put it on top, and then you just kind of put a layer of butter on top of your potatoes, or on top of your sweet potatoes, yams, whatever you prefer to call these. Okay, so that's what that's gonna look like. Then the next thing I do is I just take my cinnamon and I sprinkle a little layer on top, more or less depending upon your taste. I love cinnamon, so I do quite a bit, as you can see. Put 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar right there in the thing. And what I'm gonna do is just mix this together. You don't have to. I just like to incorporate everything. So that's what I'm gonna quickly do, is just mix every single thing together. Okay? So then you're gonna have this kind of mixture. Once you've mixed it all together, it should be a nice brown. You should still see the butter streaks throughout it. I'm gonna go ahead and put another little sprinkle on top. And you don't have to do this step, but I think it makes it. So there's your extra cinnamon. And now you just layer your marshmallows on top. And I try to space mine out just a little bit. I remember one year I packed them in here, and it ended up being this gooey, gross mess. So you want to keep them with a little bit of space in between each marshmallow, because they do poof up when you cook them. Okay, so as you can see, I left a little bit of space here just because they get stuck to the edges if you put them too close. They are gonna poof up, so it should expand a little bit. At 350, I just cover with aluminum foil, and I'm gonna put this in there for about 25 to 40 minutes. It's just really gonna depend on your oven. You just want your inside to be bubbly, and then towards the end of it, when it's almost done, take the foil off so your marshmallows can be nice and golden brown. Looks like it took 30 minutes at 350, and what I did was 15 minutes with aluminum foil on, 15 minutes with aluminum foil off. And you get that nice golden brown, but you don't burn them. That's something that I learned a long time ago. So that is how you make candied yams my way.